worship, honor, and adore thee who have assembled us again this day. There is no God like thee, and no God to be compared unto thy excellency. We worship, honor, and adore thee in Jesus' name. Amen. As we are about to hear your word, O Lord, we ask for your spirit to lead us. We cover this message with the blood of Jesus. We cover your children worldwide with the blood of Jesus Christ. We cover Christ Love Church with the blood of Jesus Christ. In Jesus' holy name we pray. Amen. The title of our message today is Let My People Go. Amen. Amen. When the children of Israel cried unto the living God, and God heard their cry, and God decided to send a message to the land that has held them captive, to let the people of God go. Praise the living God. Amen. It is your obligation to cry unto your Maker, to liberate you from the afflictions of the enemies, to liberate you from the land that has held you captive. Praise the living God. Amen. If you don't mind and you're having your scripture, please turn with me to the book of Exodus. Exodus chapter 5. I'm reading from verse 1. And he says, and afterward, Moses and Aaron went in and told Pharaoh, thus said the Lord God of Israel, let my people go, that they may hold a feast unto me in the wilderness. Praise the living God. Amen. As I come to acknowledge, God is ruling the powers of heaven and the powers of this earth. Every power and authority and dominion belongs to the Most High God. But before God will move in your situation, you have to cry unto the living God. According to the book of Exodus, when the children of God felt they are not longer worthy to continue serving as slaves in a land that wasn't their land, they focused upon the living God. They remembered the living God, and they started crying unto the living God who can do all things. Praise the living God. Amen. Every power and authority belongs to the living God. It doesn't belong to this earth. And the Lord decided to hear their cry, and he sent forth message unto a stubborn king called Pharaoh to let his people go. Praise the living God. Amen. Before you will find solution, you must cry to your Maker who has made you. You don't need to depend upon any man or any woman. You don't need to be scared of the land where you are, no matter the power of that land. But you need to depend upon God who has made that land and who has made you equally. Praise the living God. Amen. And verse 2 proceeds to say, and Pharaoh said, who is the Lord, that I should obey his voice to let Israel go? I know not the Lord, neither will I let Israel go. Praise the living God. Amen. As we see so many stubborn spirits, and so many stubborn land, and so many stubborn problems that have insisted that they will not allow the children of God go. And Pharaoh challenged the authority of the Most High God. In the first place, he says, he don't know who is called the living God. And the living God is nothing to him to allow the children of God to go. But if you don't mind, let us go back to confirm who is the living God. Praise the living God. Amen. If you still have your Bible, please turn with me to the book of Isaiah chapter 46. Isaiah chapter 46, I'm reading from verse 9. And he says, remember the former things of old, for I am God, and there is none else. I am God, and there is none like me. Praise the living God. Amen. The God who has sent message to Pharaoh is God, whom only him rendered king and rendered as God for all eternity. He says, beside me there is no any other God. Our God is capable. our God is liable. And verse 10 proceeds to say, declaring the end from the beginning, and from the ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do my pleasures. Praise the living God. Amen. The power of the land where you are will never be a barrier to the Most High God. When God moves in your life, whenever God will move to deliver his children from their affliction, no power can stop him. But your obligation is this: depend upon the living God. Cry unto the living God. Bring your sorrows, your burden, and your affliction unto the living God, who can do all things. Praise the living God. Amen. If you don't mind, still talk with me. Let us consider the cry of the children of God before God was being moved. So we need to the book of Exodus chapter 3. I'm reading from verse 7. And he says, and the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by the reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. Praise the living God. Amen. The Lord knows what you are passing through. But you must cry unto God to come and help you. The Lord will not be moved without your cry unto him. You must acknowledge the power of your Maker. In that ugly situation that seems as if to say it has no solution, the solution is in the hand of the living God. And when they started crying unto the living God, but when you remember properly from the book of Genesis, chapter 15, when God was talking to Abraham, he says, your children will go into that land, the land of Egypt, and they will serve for 400 years in that land. And after 400 years, I will go to deliver them. But now, the problem is this. The children of Israel, they feel so reluctant to cry unto the living God. Nobody was interested in searching for a solution to consult God who can deliver. And they were all living as they wish to live in the land of Egypt, till greater pains come upon them. And when they start crying unto Almighty God, and God heard their cry, in that situation, prayer is needed. Effective prayer is needed. Before God will turn around your situation again to be a better one, prayer is needed. And the Lord heard the children of Israel when they cried unto him. I proceed to verse 8. And he says, and I am come down to deliver them out of the land of Egyptians, and to bring them up out of that land unto a good land and a large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites. Praise the living God. Amen. In return, God descended. In your situation, let the Most High God descend in Jesus' name. Amen. Before God will descend in that situation, you need prayer. You need to focus. You need to depend upon the living God. You need to believe the power and ability of the living God. As the book of Isaiah chapter 46 says, that God says the living God, I am, and beside me there is no any other. And when the Egyptians believed that they will continue suppressing the children of God, and the Lord decided to descend according to his word, he said, I will descend into that land. And when you read properly from the book of Exodus, chapter 13, verse 21 and 22 says, and the Lord descended as a pillar of fire to lead the children of God by night, and as a pillar of cloud to lead them by day. But the most important thing is this: they cried unto the living God. And God remembered his covenant with Abraham and the promises that he has made unto them. But before the Lord decided to deliver them, they have added additional 30 years. This is why Christ, when he came on earth, he said, continue praying. continue praying and continue keeping watch for your blessings not to be delayed, for you not to go into temptations, for the enemies not to take you captive. And Jesus says, keep praying and keep watching. But today the children of God cannot pray. When you cannot pray, how can you communicate with your Maker? How can there be solution in those ugly situations? How can God bless and prosper your land? And when the children of Israel prayed, in verse 8, the Lord says, I shall descend into that land to deliver them, and I shall give them a better land, a larger land, a land of milk and honey, a land of prosperity and success. Praise the Lord. Amen. I proceed to verse 9. Verse 9 says, now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me, and I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppressed them. You have been in a long time depression of the enemies. They keep suppressing you. They keep oppressing you. And you are not crying unto God who can deliver you. There is no power that can deliver a child of God. Every other powers that we see today on earth is highly limited. The powers of nations, they are highly limited. But one power is not limited. That power is the power of the Most High God, who says, my counsel must surely hold. Praise the living God. Amen. If you don't mind, please sit on with me to the book of Isaiah to consider further promises of the Most High God unto his people. Isaiah chapter 45. I'm reading from verse 2. Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 2 says, I will go before thee and make the crooked places straight. I will break in pieces the gates of brass and cut in sunder the bars of iron. Praise the Lord God. Amen. I want you to understand simply and very clearly that you cannot make it without the help of God. And the Lord was speaking through Isaiah the prophet. He says, I will go before my people to straighten their crooked ways. The situation you want to amend by your own power, knowledge, and strength, you cannot. Except the helping hands of the Most High God comes into that situation. And the Lord was promising, he says, I will go before my people. I will straighten their crooked ways. I will shatter and scatter the gates of brass and iron bars that have holding my people captive. This is why it is vitally important for you as a believer. One, understand the power in the God that you have believed. Number two, cast your body onto that God who can move before you, who can make your crooked places to be straight. Praise the living God. I proceed to verse 3. And verse 3 says, and I will give thee the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I, the Lord, which called thee by name, am the God of Israel. Amen. Amen. And he says, when he goes before you, all you have been laboring for yourself in vain, what you couldn't achieve. And the Lord said, he will achieve those things for his people, for his name's sake. Praise the living God. Amen. And he further says, I have known you by name, and I have made mention of your name. Before you was being born, God has known you by name. And if you don't mind, let me still explain more about this to you. Before the children of God went into captivity of 70 years, which Isaiah was the first man to prophesy about that captivity in the book of Isaiah chapter 39. But further in the book of Isaiah chapter 44, the Lord made mention of a man that has not been born. And the Lord says, my servant Cyrus will free my people from that captivity. He has not been born. And the prophecy of Isaiah of that captivity has not come to hold as of then. I want you to understand the power of God. The only power that is reliable and that is accurate is the power of the living God. Coming to the book of Isaiah chapter 45, verse 1, the Lord says, to my anointed Cyrus. He mentioned that name a second time. He has not been born then. Nobody knows of the man called Cyrus. And the children of God has not went into captivity then. After the days of Isaiah the prophet, in the days of Jeremiah the prophet, they went into that captivity. Babylonians came down to the land of the people of God, defeated them, took them to captivity, according to the word of God. Let us go to the manifestation of that word of the living God. I want you to understand only God is liable in your situation. It is important for the children of God to focus upon the living God. Please turn with me to the book of 2 Chronicles. 2 Chronicles chapter 36. I'm reading from verse 22. And it says, now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of the Lord spoken by the mouth of Jeremiah might be accomplished, the Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom, and put it also in writing, saying, praise the living God. Automatically, we got to understand that the Babylonian Empire has collapsed. The Babylonian Empire has collapsed before the regime of Cyrus, before they came into power. But mind you that when God speak through Isaiah that they must go into captivity, it still took 4 generations. After 4 generations, before they went into that captivity. And the Lord has mentioned, I will raise a man called Cyrus. I proceed to verse 23. And 23 says, thus said Cyrus, king of Persia, all the kingdoms of the earth had the Lord God of heaven given me, and he hath charged me to build him an house in Jerusalem, which is in Judea. Who is there among you of all his people? The Lord his God be with him, and let him go up. Praise the living God. Amen. According to the manifestation of the word of God, and the Lord spoke to him when he came into power, release my people and let them go. This is the God that has led his children. And this is why it is important for you to depend upon the living God. The powers of nations, they have limitation. That was why the Lord keeps speaking through Isaiah. He says, let gods of nations come up and tell us things that will happen before it happens. Only God says what will happen before it happens. That was why he says in the book of Isaiah chapter 46 verse 10, I declare the beginning from the end. He knows the beginning to the end of your life. He knows what he has for you. But the most important thing is this. How are you seeking your God? How are you believing the power of the living God? How are you crying unto God? Before any situation will change, you must cry to the living God. Before Abraham's situation changed, he cried to the living God. He cried, I need a son. And God gave him that son. Before the situation of Rebecca changed, she cried unto her husband, and the husband cried unto the living God. And God gave them a son. Before God will come into your situation, you must cry unto that living God. The land where you are might be powerful, but they can never be powerful than the living God who has made that land. This was why it is important for you as a child of God. Depend upon that God. Bring your troubles unto the living God. Follow God in the right way. Praise the living God. Amen. If you don't mind, please turn with me to the book of Revelation to confirm the power and the ability of God that we worship. Revelation chapter 5. I'm reading from verse 4. And he says, and I wept much, because no man was worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. Praise the living God. Amen. And when God was still proving his power, showing his power to join our brother in vision, the power of God has no limitation. No matter your ugly situation, no matter your failures, no matter what you have been facing, no matter what you have been passing through, no matter how long this problem have lasted, that there is one man who is able. And he says in the book of Revelation chapter 5 verse 4, when John felt that nobody was able, he starts weeping. He says he wept so much. And verse 5 says, and one of the elders said unto me, weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof. Praise and thank God. Amen. When the children of God were in the land of Egypt, they were hopeless. They believed that no power can deliver them from that land. But when they cried, the same power who is able, the same power of Revelation chapter 5 verse 5, that says only one man is able and capable, he has prevailed in that situation. And that power went down into the land of Egypt and delivered the children of God from their afflictions. Likewise, I and you in our generation. The scripture says, as the Lord was in the beginning, so he is today, and ever shall he be, world without end. And that was why St. Paul continued praising the power of our living God. He says the same God yesterday, the same God today, the same God for all eternity. He has no end, and he will never change. This is why we need to come into God who is able, who is calling unto his children. And when Christ was on earth, he says, come unto me. Come unto the living God and witness your miracle. He said, come unto me, you that are of heavy laden, you that are struggling. He said, come unto me, I will give you rest. Praise that God. Amen. If you don't mind, still turn with me to our Bible text for the day. The book of Exodus chapter 14. I'm reading from verse 15. And he says, and the Lord said unto Moses, wherefore criest thou unto me? Speak unto the children of Israel, that they go forward. Praise and thank God. Amen. Come, keep going forward. Stop disturbing yourself over things that can never hinder your success in life. And when the children of Israel, some of them that were faithless, they were disturbed. They were shedding tears. And some of them said to Moses, why not allow us to continue being in the land of Egypt? But Moses, a man of faith and vision, when he cried unto the living God, in the first place, the Lord says, in verse 13, the Lord says, fear not. The Egyptians you are seeing, you shall see them no more. And in verse 14, the Lord proceeds to say, I will fight your battle, and you will have your peace. The battle is of the Lord. In that ugly situation, the battle is of the Lord. In that ugly land, the battle is of the Lord. No matter the demon they worship in that land. But try to stand in the integrity of the Most High God. Try to depend upon the power of the living God. And see the salvation of the living God. And the Lord said unto Moses, keep moving forward. We are not going back to Egypt. Don't believe you are going back to that ugly situation. According to the book of Hebrews chapter 11 verse 6, it is impossible to please God without faith. When you don't believe in the power of the living God, it is impossible for you to please that living God. That was why all the men of the scripture, the holy prophets, they did not see God. But they saw the wonders of God. By the power of faith, they were able to conquer nations. They were able to achieve their heart's desire. Their prayers came to manifestation. Faith is important when you are following God. Praise and praise God. Amen. I proceed to verse 24. And he says, and it came to pass that in the morning watch, the Lord looked unto the host of the Egyptians, through the pillar of fire and of the cloud, and troubled the host of the Egyptians. According to the word of God, he says the battle is of me. How God will come into your situation, nobody knows. Any prophet that prophesy about the end of your situation may not be correct. He may not say the exact end of that battle. But we can say the Lord have said. And the Lord said unto Moses, the battle is of mine. How will he fight this battle? Nobody knows. The Egyptians with their sophisticated weapons, their machineries, their chariots and horses, they were coming closely to the children of God. And the children of God were panicking. But the Lord says the battle is of his. The Lord knows how to end the battle of your life. Praise the Lord. And 25 proceeds to say, and took off their chariots' wheels, that they drave them heavily, so that the Egyptians said, let us flee from the face of Israel, for the Lord fighteth for them against the Egyptians. There was manifestation in the word of God. And Christ assured believers that the word of God must come to manifestation. Anything God have decreed in your life must come to manifestation. But you have a part to play. You have to follow God in the right way. You have to believe in the power of the living God. You have to cry unto the living God, who performs all things unto his people. Praise the living God. And when the Lord decided to fight the Egyptians, in the first place, he started destroying the forces and the power of the Egyptians. Destroying their chariots, weakening their hands, that they cannot fight the children of God. I proceed to verse 27. And 27 says, and Moses stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to his strength, when the morning appeared, and the Egyptians fled against it, and the Lord overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea, according to the word of God. The Lord says, the Egyptians you are seeing today, you shall never see anymore. In verse 13. And when the time comes, remember when he goes down, the Lord says, I have hardened the heart of Pharaoh and his war men, for me to destroy them, to have honor unto my holy name. And when the time comes, eventually the Lord destroyed them and gave victory to the children of God. And verse 28 says, and the waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen and all the host of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. There remained not so much as one of them. Our God is liable. The book of Revelation chapter 19 verse 6 says, the omnipotent God reigneth. That God is omnipotent. He owns all power. He owns all dominion. He owns all authority of heavens, of all heavens, and of this earth. This is why it is important for I and you depend upon God. Cry unto God in that situation. You don't need to be quiet in your ugly situation. You need to bring that situation unto God. You can do nothing without the help of God. When David realized that man can do nothing without the help of God, and he prayed in Psalm 127, said, except the Most High God build that house, the laborers has labored in vain. And except the Lord keep that city, the watchmen, they have keep work in vain. This is why you need, when you are in such a land, a pagan land, a land that was demonized, a land that you can understand nothing. The only hope for you to survive such land is God. There is not any other hope. I've seen lots of our young men that believe in their physical fitness as young men. They have all failed. They have all failed. The only power that can carry you through is the power of the maker of heaven and the earth, who has made the land where you are. Praise the living God. Amen. That's God, and he fights your battle in Jesus' name. Amen. If you don't mind, please still proceed with me to the book of Acts of Apostles to see the power of the deliverance of the Most High God. Acts of Apostles chapter 12. Acts of Apostles chapter 12, and reading from verse 11. And he says, and when Peter was come to himself, he said, now I know of a surety that the Lord has sent his angel and had delivered me out of the hand of Herod, and from all the expectation of the people of the Jews. Praise the living God. Amen. So many people are expecting you to end up so bad. Perhaps from the community where you are, so many people are expecting you to end up so bad. Perhaps from their own home, so many people are expecting you to end up so bad. But the only hope is God. When God comes into that situation, he will rewrite all the evil they have wrote about you. And Peter was being expected of his enemies to end up so bad. But he depends upon the living God. When you read properly from verse 5, he says the church, they were there praying for him. The church came together, they were praying. Before your solution will come, you must pray. Don't depend on any man. Don't depend on any man. The biggest problem today is this: we depend upon men. We've seen lots of people, when they are having problems, they are not depending upon the living God who can solve those problems. What God did not solve, no power can solve it. We run to NEPS. We go to NEPS. This big name can deliver them. And when they go, they will fail. They go into idols of nations, and when they go, they will fail. But when you depend upon the living God who has declared the beginning to your end, he will deliver you. And Peter was being expected by the Jews that he will be executed. That he was there praying. He was there depending upon the power of the living God. And God sent forth his angels to deliver him. And Peter now confirmed that now I come to believe that God has done this in order to deliver me from the shame and the reproach from my enemies. Kindly come to the living God. All my messages is for you to know your God. Know your God. The scripture says those that knows their God. In the book of Daniel, chapter 11, verse 32-33. Those that knows their God, they shall be strong, and they shall do exploits. In such situation, they shall do exploits. This is why every true child of God go into God. Depend upon that God. Don't depend upon anyone. Don't depend upon your pastor. But depend upon the living God. Because God has won. Curse unto them that depend upon man. In the book of Jeremiah chapter 17. He said, curse be unto them that depend upon man. Your pastor is a man. Your pastor is not God. And verse 6 says, but blessed be them that depend upon the living God. They shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of waters. They will never be uprooted easily. This is why every true child of God needs to go into the living God. I proceed to Romans, please. If you still have your Bible, turn with me to the book of Romans. Romans chapter 8. I'm reading from verse 32. If you are there, say amen. Amen. And he says, he that spared not his own son, but delivered him up for us all, how shall he not with him also freely give us all things? And the scripture is asking I and you, when you depend on God, why will not God grant your request? Why will not God deliver you from that ugly situation? Why will not God liberate you from your fears? Why will not God bless you? Who has given his only begotten son? If God can give his only son to I and you, what else you think you will ask God that He will not do in your life? We need to come back to God. Brother, come back to God. With faith, come back to God and you shall be delivered. Don't be like the children of Israel that refused to come back to God till they went into severe pains. The book of Exodus says they went into severe pains. They added additional 30 years. Because when I come to read from Exodus chapter 12, from verse 40-41 down, he says they were there for 430 years instead of 400 years. Because they neglected the power of God. You are in oversea. I'm not granted you what you need in life. The success you need in life has not been there. The life you need in life has not been there. Who will grant what you needed is the Most High God. That is why it is important for every one of us. Hold on to that God. And St. Paul has encouraged us. Who has given his son? There is nothing he will not give to you. When you ask him sincerely, don't go before God. In the book of Isaiah 45, verse 2, it says, I will go before you. I will make those crooked ways. Why some of us are failing again and again, from year to year. I've seen lots of cases here, and such cases will have no end. Because we want to work for ourselves. We want to go before God. But the scripture says, I will go before thee. To prepare the way, to make the way comfortable and perfect for you. And when you go to the book of Exodus chapter 13, verse 21 says, and when God descended, he was going ahead of his people. His people are not ahead of him. He moved ahead of them to show them the right way. Only God can show you the right way. Only God can fight your battle. Only God can deliver you. Only God can prosper you. Only God can liberate you from those long-time bondages. This is why you need to come to God. Finally, let us conclude our message with the book of 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 15. I'm reading from verse 57. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 57 says, but thanks be to God, which giveth us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ. 58. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. Praise the living God. Amen. My advice and my message to you is this: be steadfast in the living God. Be unmovable. Be strong upon that God whom you come to worship. Believe in the power and ability of the Most High God, and it shall be well with you. May God bless you in Jesus' name. Amen.